Alright, so I'm going to be doing some Halloween spooky stories here, some scary stories of Halloween. This one story I'm going to be talking about, so I'm going to do multiple stories in this episode. There's going to be like maybe 4 stories I'll think of to do this in this episode here. So this first story would be, this was a hurricane that was supposed to ruin Halloween one year when I was probably 14 to 13 years old. I think it was Hurricane. I forgot what hurricane it was, but it was a hurricane that was supposed to. It was very rare too because we never get hurricanes around here. It wasn't really a hurricane. It was like the after effects or whatever they call it. It was like the rest like the hurt. It wasn't the actual hurricane, but it was like the tail end of the hurricane or whatever they call it. So I remember one year Halloween was going to be canceled. Nobody was going to do anything for Halloween because I don't think anything. I don't know if anybody did, but a lot of people didn't do anything. I mean, but for Halloween, a lot of people didn't have any candy out or anything because it was raining and everything. But it wasn't as bad as it was supposed to be. It was still raining. It was a little bit windy and everything, but it wasn't as bad as it was supposed to be. I remember it was one year that Halloween was supposed to be canceled. Well, not canceled, but like not like they were gonna tell people not to do anything for Halloween, but everybody was advised that it was supposed to be very nasty outside and it wasn't supposed to be good weather and everything. And I remember I was very sad because I love Halloween. I love this time of year. Now I really don't go I don't go trick or treating anymore, but at this time I was. So I was kind of like sad because I was like, I want to go trick or treating and everything. And I was hoping that maybe the cold air from up here was going to like move the hurricane, which actually that's what happened. It wasn't an actual hurricane. It was like the whatever they call it. But it was we were going to get some of the hurricane, just not like the main hurricane, just some of the hurricane. And we were getting rain, and we were supposed to get a lot of rain and a lot of wind, and it was supposed to be very creepy outside. It was supposed to be like windy and raining and everything. Everybody was concerned, but turns out it actually didn't rain that much, and it really wasn't that windy. It was kind of like right now, it's just breezy basically. And it wasn't as bad as it was supposed to be, but it was kind of scary to think about that, Halloween was going to be canceled because a hurricane, like some of the effects of the hurricane. So I remember that's one memory I have that was kind of scary of one Halloween. Now, as I'm trying to think of other scary stories that I have, this next story I have is from when I was probably around 12 years old. I remember when I moved into my old house, not this house, when I moved into my old house before I moved into this house. Me and my sister, no, my sister wasn't there. I think my sister was with my father. It was just me, my mom, and my grandmother. And we heard, nobody was down in the basement, and we heard knocking like that. I don't want to knock too loud because I don't want the puppy to bark. But we heard like that right on the floor or on the door. I forgot where it was, but it was on. I think it was the door of the basement. And I was so creeped out. I got like goosebumps and everything, or goose pimples, or whatever they call it. And I was just like really creeped out because nobody was down in the basement. Remember, nobody was down in the basement, and we were all like freaked out because my mom was like, "What was that?" And my grandmother was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "What was that?" Nobody was in the basement. Nobody was there besides me, my grandmother, and my mom. We were all accounted for. We were all upstairs, sitting at the kitchen table, like where I'm doing right now. I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and we're all sitting at the kitchen table just talking, and we heard like that. Now it could have been something from outside, but nobody was outside. Why would it be inside? You could feel it inside, and I felt the vibration of the knocking. And that house was very creepy. I think that house was haunted, to be honest, because a lot of times I would be going down to the basement. It feels like somebody was watching me all around. Like there was somebody, felt like there was somebody that was there that was trapped or whatever. Like, there's ghosts that are trapped or something. I think there was somebody that was there that that um that not trapped, but they were still there because they loved the house or whatever, or they just were stuck there or something. I don't know, but it felt like there's somebody there all the time when I was there. When I was there, I felt like when I was there alone, I felt like I wasn't alone all the time. Because I remember a lot of times I was in my room and it felt like people were just like looking at me all the time. Somebody was looking at me, but there's nobody there. But it felt like there was somebody there. So some of these stories aren't from Halloween, but some of these stories are. So like the Halloween, like that story I just told wasn't really from Halloween. It actually was from around like August or whatever, but it was creepy. This next story is also not from really from Halloween, but it was a crazy experience one time I was outside. This actually wasn't ghosts. This was what I believe was might have been aliens or UFOs or something that was unidentified or whatever. And so this was probably several years ago. I remember my aunt said that she saw something in the sky, and it was one night, and she said that she saw like this cluster of ships or whatever that was in the sky or something. And I my remember I went outside and I thought I saw it too. I saw like this weird thing in the sky that was just going in the sky. It was like a whole bunch of like lights, like that were just in the sky. It was weird. Now I know a lot of people are gonna say it was the Starlink or anything, but it wasn't the Starlink. It was like whole more lights than what the Starlink has. I know what the Starlink looks like, and this wasn't the Starlink. It all disappeared too. It like disappeared and reappeared, disappeared and reappeared, disappeared and reappeared, disappeared and reappeared. So it wasn't really um, um, Starlink or whatever they call it. That's another creepy story. This next creepy story is actually about a spider that I once saw in my room when I first moved here to this house. It's not really a ghost or anything, but it's kind of creepy because this spider was pretty big. It wasn't a wolf spider or anything. It didn't look like a wolf spider. Wolf spider, I know what a wolf spider looks like. This wasn't a wolf spider. Kind of looked like a black widow spider, but it was huge. It wasn't like how a black widow spider usually is, like like this big. It was like at least like maybe this big. Its legs were like this, and I remember I saw it crawling on my wall, and I saw it crawling on my wall. And remember, I called to my mom. I almost screamed, but I ran upstairs and I told her. And I still have the mark, I think, on my wall from when my mom uh, smushed it against the wall. And the spider was pretty creepy. Like I said, it was a pretty big spider. I didn't think it was. It didn't look like a wolf spider to me. It didn't look like a house spider to me. It looked really creepy. It looked like it was kind of dangerous too because it kind of had like fangs or something on it. So it was pretty creepy. So anyway, these are some of the Halloween spooky stories I have here. Thanks for watching this video here. I don't have a lot of these stories because I just can't think of a lot of them right now, but I did a couple of them, so hope you guys all enjoyed these creepy stories. Leave a comment below if you like these stories. Peace.